the Pete Hegseth thing continues. Joni Ernst getting a lot of heat from our side because she clearly is just denying him her support. And this is the same person who confirmed all kinds of people that are a bazillion times worse than Pete Hegseth could ever be. And so people are angry with her. They see right through it. They know that it's because she wants the job. And she was on with Fox with Bill Hemmer, who actually directly asks her, are you giving him support? Because it sounds like you're not. But she's, she won't just come right out and say until he pins her down and demands an answer. And listen, I've been a fan of Joni Ernst in the past, but why does she talk like we're second graders? Why does she talk? What is the affect with her speech where she talks in this really slow, like you guys are dumb kind of way? Is it just me that thinks that?
No, I kind of think that too. And
okay,
plus, and she, there's a lot of her saying, she's talking about like the spending and stuff like that. She's getting on that Doge train now. She's getting on the Doge train. I'm like, where the hell have you been for the past several years? Because you're part of the spending problem, lady. So now all of a sudden she's like on our side, like she's one of us. And I'm kind of like, you don't get to say that. You don't get to do that. You don't get to be that because you're not one of us. You're one of these people that.
Yeah, does she get to be part of Trump's Doge initiative while also not confirming his picks?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense.
Not at all.
You don't get to do that.
You don't get to do it. Yeah.
Anyway,
so I have that rubs me the wrong way too.
Yeah. Well, here she is in her kindergarten voice telling about how she is not yet on board with Pete Hegseth.
Well, I did have a very long, lengthy discussion with Pete yesterday, and I do appreciate his service to the nation. I also am a combat veteran. So we talked about a number of those issues, and we will continue with the vetting process. I think that that is incredibly important. So again, all I'm saying is we had a very frank and productive discussion, and I know that we will continue to have conversations in the upcoming months.
Is there a date certain for his confirmation hearing?
I have not heard that yet. The incoming chairman will be Senator Roger Wicker, and so that will be established between the chair, I am understanding, and the nominee.
Okay, it doesn't sound on your answer that you've gotten to a yes. If I'm wrong about that, correct me. And if that is the case, it sounds to me as if the hearing will be critical for his nomination. Am I right about that?
I think you are right. I think for a number of our senators, they want to make sure that any allegations have been cleared, and that's why we have to have a very thorough vetting process. And that's why I was happy to sit down with Pete and have that conversation with him yesterday. So again, all I will say at this time is that we did have a very thorough discussion over a number of those issues, and the vetting will continue, I am certain, through the next month or so until we approach that hearing.
You know what? I've got to say too, and people can disagree with me, but I think she looked better with shorter hair.
She did have some awesome short hair.
Yeah, she's one of those women that looks better with short hair. Just putting it out there. Yeah. So somebody needs to tell her that. Her best friend or somebody. Anyway.
Although, man, it is so perfect. It reminds me of, remember
Newt Gingrich's wife.
Yes, Callista. Isn't that her name?
Right there with you.
Right, yeah.
Right there with you.
Because it is just like perfect.
It is like, yeah, it's Senator's
Not
wife.
A hair out of place.
It is so Senator's wife is what that is. Right.
Anyway, I just don't think she has any business being part of Doge when she's not helping Trump get his picks confirmed.
And
you can confirm Merrick Garland.
You're part of the problem. You've been part of the problem. You don't get to like all of a sudden be like, oh, now I'm part of the solution. What? Stop it.
Well, Will Cain, of course, Pete Hegseth's co-host, has had about enough of all of this and came to Pete's defense again in a glorious monologue.
Who are you, Lindsey Graham? Do you take the side of NBC News over the recipient of a Medal of Honor for the war he fought, clearing out a building single-handedly in Iraq?
There you go.
Do you take the side of the New Yorker over 24 Fox News employees? Do you take the side of the New York Times over 100 Navy SEALs prepared to march on Washington, D.C.? Or maybe there's another motivation. I said, One could be taking the side of NBC, of New York Times, of the New Yorker. The other could be you want the job yourself. Dirty, ugly, backroom politics. One of these senators wants the job themselves instead of Pete Hegseth. A third option, a senator, I don't know, from the South, might be so embedded in the Pentagon and the war machine and the DOD and the Department of Defense lobby that anyone who represents real disruption or as a change agent would see Pete Hegseth as a threat. See, I wonder about any Republican senator today who decides he's going to draw his line in the sand over Pete Hegseth. Because it's not a line in the sand, by the way. Oh, they took out Matt Gaetz. Now their attention turns to Pete Hegseth. Mm-hmm. You think it ends after that? You think so? No. You know better. The attacks moved to Tulsi Gabbard.
Right.
If not Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr. If not RFK Jr., Kash Patel.
Right.
If not Kash Patel, Sean Duffy. And maybe in that order. You fold, and you'll fold forever. And we'll debate why. Because you have no spine, because you're weak, because you believe NBC over Medal of Honor recipients, because you're invested in getting the job yourself and you're looking out for yourself and not the people of Iowa, because you're so embedded in the DOD and the Department of Defense lobby that you never want to see real change. Well, guess what the American people just voted for? Real change, disruption. That's what they asked for. In an overwhelming vote for Donald Trump. And Donald Trump believes that the way to execute change is to put Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in charge of HHS, is to put Kash Patel in charge of the FBI, is to put Tulsi Gabbard in charge of DNI, John Ratcliffe in charge of CIA, and Pete Hegseth in charge of DOD.
Yep.
Oh, we're about to see exactly who some people are.
Yep.
We already know who they are in New York. We already know who they are in the high rise of the Times. We're about to see who they are in Iowa and South Carolina and North Dakota.
He's right. He's absolutely right.
I love that diatribe, man. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, all of it. He's 100% correct. Yeah, and they're showing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsey Graham.
Absolutely are.
Lindsey Graham. We knew who you were, Lindsey.
You in that cuddle group? You in that cuddle group?
Oh, he's totally in the cuddle group. You know he is. He's like right there in the middle of the pile. Everybody needs Jesus. You know, we all do.
And they also need to be prepared with food from ReadyWise.
They do.
You guys, this is my favorite, of course, is their soups. They do have a lot more other foods other than
I have
soups.
some too. Hold on, I'll show you mine.
Ooh, what do you have? Do you have like one of those like?
Yeah, I've got vegetable beef.
Oh yeah,
that's my jam right
about.
there.
That's what I am talking about.
So good.
But they have they've got like all kinds of survival food that includes oatmeal. They have cheesy macaroni. They've got teriyaki rice. They've got tortilla soups, all kinds of different stuff. And they have the fruit and veggie buckets, which are amazing. I don't know how to describe to you like the peace of mind that you get just knowing that you have a supply of emergency food on hand. I think that's the best part of all of it, aside from just the fact that they make stuff that tastes good. It just, and this stuff keeps for 25 years. You just store it in a closet, store it in your garage, wherever. And you just know that like in the event of an emergency or power outage, whatever, you are prepared. And you can get 20% off of your entire order when you use code CHICKS20 at ReadyWise.com. ReadyWise.com. Use promo code CHICKS20. Do it and get yourself that peace of mind because it feels really, really good, you guys. I'm telling you, it feels really good. Elizabeth Warren really did the dumbest thing yesterday on X. And here is what she tweeted. In 2023, over 29,000 active duty troops were sexually assaulted, including more than 6 in every 100 women in the military. Many service members never report these crimes. The rates of assault are estimated to be up to 4 times higher. Pete Hegseth must not be defense secretary.
Okay, why?
Who's in charge right now? Is she blaming Lloyd Austin on all of these horrible sexual assaults? Because that's how I read it.
Right. What's the correlation? What is she talking about?
What the hell?
So he's assaulted like all these people? Is that what she's saying?
This is the thing that she's telling on herself. Like everything she's talking about in 2023, Pete Hegseth has nothing to do with DOD. Mm-hmm. So your point is not making any sense. Elizabeth Warren, you
Mm-hmm.
idiot.
Yeah.
My God.
I know this woman.
Just the unfairness that they're treating him with right now is so ridiculous. And here's another great example from the Washington Post. So some time ago, Joe Biden awarded someone the Bronze Star. Okay. And so the Washington Post made a big fat fuss about it. And here is what they wrote. A Waldorf man who served 2 tours of duty in Iraq as an intelligence analyst and non-commissioned officer was given one of the Army's most prestigious awards this month by Vice President Biden. Okay, so they're saying it's one of the most prestigious awards. It's a big fat deal. This was like back in 2009.
Right.
And then fast forward to Pete Hegseth, who has received 2 of these. Here is how the Washington Post posits Bronze Stars like those Hegseth earned are common among military officers.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that's how they position this. Yeah. They're gross. These people are gross. Yeah. If you didn't hate the media enough yesterday, you got to hate them more today. Every day I hate them more and more. This is what they do. Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, Pete Hegseth manhandles them in the best way. So, of course, they have been on him, following him throughout the halls of the Senate, and he just told them in the perfect, polite way, they don't matter.
I'm proud of what I fought for. I'm not going to back down from them one bit. I will answer all of these senators' questions, but this will not be a process tried in the media. I don't answer to anyone in this group. None of you. Not to that camera at all. I answer to President Trump, who received 76 million votes on behalf and a mandate for change. I answer to the 100 senators who are part of this process and those in the committee. And I answer to my Lord and Savior and my wife and my family. I'm proud to be here. And as long as Donald Trump wants me in this fight, I'm going to be standing right here in this fight, fighting to bring our Pentagon back to what it needs to be.
What have your conversation?
God, I love that. F them. Go, Pete. Keep fighting. F all of them. You know?
Right? That was so good. God, that was so good.
Insufferable media.